And folks, today we are going to be unclipping Sprues live. That's right. The excitement begins now with unclipping Sprues live. And we're going to see if we can get this nice and set up and possibly a little zoomed in as well. But let me go in here and fix some things so that everything looks good. What you are looking at, and I know this was completely unprompted, out of the blue, but I decided, you know what, let's go ahead and give this a shot because I need to get these reviewed. And what better way to do that than, stop procrastinating, get everything unclipped. I've already recorded the first couple segments of my review, and now it is time to get these unclipped so that we can get the build done and show off what all the different pieces are all about. So that is what we are up to now. So I'm just going to get a thumbnail on here and get this also shared, which is super important. Can I not change the thumbnail from here? Ooh, there we go. For some reason, it just does not want to. Whenever I go live on my mobile device, the option to upload my own custom thumbnail just does not work. What should we call this? Pathfinder thumbnail? Because yes, folks, you are in fact looking at Pathfinder terrain, officially licensed Pathfinder terrain from Archon Studio, as well as 5th edition compatible Dungeons and Lasers system, but in half-height walls, which is pretty sweet, right? All right, so let's see here. I am just looking for my thumbnail. There it is. Upload that. Save that. And I think we are now good to go. So let's also get this shared. There we go. See? Oh, I can hear it already. Share this link over to Facebook. Should have grabbed some water before I got down here. Okay. Make this public. We are live on this gorgeous Friday. Hopefully it's gorgeous where you are. It is absolutely gorgeous here in Bellevue, Nebraska. And what better way to enjoy the weather than being indoors clipping sprues? That sounds ideal. All right, there we have it. I took today off for an extended Memorial Day weekend. And we are good to go. Okay, here we go. Finally, we can begin the unclipping process. All right, so let's start off with the main thing, the main event, which is this Pathfinder terrain box. Maybe up a little. And definitely don't forget to check out the actual review when it goes live, where we will have the more in-depth look at all of these sprues and pieces and whatnot. All right, here we go. And I have 3 pairs of clippers over here because I'm not sure which one is the best. What are these? Army Painter? Yeah, these are Army Painter. These feel pretty good, and the little tips of the clippers are very pointy, so it makes me think we can get into some tighter areas. Look at that. We've already got one floor tile unclipped. How amazing is that? This mat that I'm doing this all on, this neoprene rubberized mat, is actually just one of my terrain mats flipped upside down. Because obviously I didn't want to mess up the artistic side, but I didn't want my bare wood tabletop also to suffer. So this is the way we're doing it. Can we move this back a ways? Just because, oh my gosh, what a pain. All right, can you still see it now? Kind of. Let's scoot it back up again. How about something like that? All right, that should be good. But the most tedious thing isn't even clipping the pieces off of the sprues. It's, you know, trimming off all the little excess sprue pieces off the sides, which is super important with this kind of product because you have to be able to fit these floors and walls all right next to each other. But I'll clean them off later. Let's just get everything off the sprue first and then clean them up later. I need to tell myself to focus on that kind of thing. And I guess I should put the box up back here so people know what I'm actually unclipping. Pathfinder, officially licensed Pathfinder terrain, because correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Dwarven Forge had a Pathfinder officially licensed set of releases, or at least a Pathfinder adventure that they made. They didn't specifically make pieces for, I don't think, did they? Or did they? I can't even remember. What was Plaguestone? Was that Pathfinder? So now we're getting all these walls out of here, and then it's going to be the little bits of decor, which honestly are sometimes some of my favorites because they, you know, really bring a set to life. So far, so good with these clippers. They are clipping pretty well. And I know this is an earlier stream because, again, I took today off work. But we need to get this done. I couldn't wait until a more popular stream time in order to do this. Now, this is what I'm going to actually check out right now, are these so-called functioning doors. Really? Now that's a bold claim that these doors actually function. Interesting. Very interesting. Of course, we have a couple support pieces on the inside here and a torch here. Done. All right, so look at this. This is an actual doorway that is supposedly fully functional. These hinges should go in there. Oh my gosh, it does. It does work. I just got to clean this up a little bit to make the door be able to fit inside of there. But otherwise, oh my goodness. I wasn't sure, but it looks like it does. Look at that. It is actually a fully functional door with the hinges and everything. How cool is that? Oh, love it. Absolutely love it. All right, let's get back to the clipping, because now that we've seen that, that was the only thing that I really wanted to get my hands on and, you know, interrupt the clipping process to try out. And now that that's done, we are good to go. Oh my gosh, we can't lose these, which is why I have this little glass dish out here, because I don't even know if you're going to be able to see this with the 720 live resolution. They are little, yeah, there's no way you're going to be able to see that very well. They are little rocks with pegs. And those go into the, when you combine two floor pieces together like this, you see there is a hole in the center there. And what you can do is subdivide floors with walls, and the floor has a peg hole that it can go in there. But if you wanted this to just be an open floor, you could pop these little rock pegs in there, and then it just looks like, you know, just a floor, and there's no hole. It covers the hole, which is fantastic. So we definitely got to make sure to not lose. Oh my gosh, that torch just went flying. I definitely have to make sure not to lose the little tiny pieces. So I've got this glass dish over here to help us out with that. Okay, I think that's everything. Oh, no, 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 no. There was one more little tiny rock over here. Now, thankfully, all 6 of these sprues are identical. So now that we've known that there are 6 little rocks on each, I'm sorry, 3 little rocks on each sprue, now that we know that, we know what we're looking for. Now, let's get all of this a little bit more organized. We need to make sure we have our walls in place and our floors and our doors. These will be our little piles for each of these things. I'm going to put the torch in the little dish. And I need to go get this other torch that flew off in the distance. Okay, there we go. Awesome. And again, you know, as usual when I do these lives, I was like, well, again, I could do this not live, but what is the point in that, right? Okay, back to clipping. So that was sprue number 1 done. I don't know, I'll leave this for later because that's the most boring sprue of all, just all of the little clip pieces. Okay, here we go. And the awesome thing about this is it's available now. There's not a Kickstarter for this where you're going to have to wait a year to get your rewards. Oh no. All this stuff is available right now on the Archon Studio website. And again, don't forget to check out my review when it gets posted, I hope later this evening. And I will have a link in the description for where you can actually pick this up. Hal, how are you? Good to see you as always. I know this is kind of a bizarre time to do this. What time is it? It's 1:30 here. I haven't even had lunch. And I'm hungry. So maybe when I get done with all this sprue clipping, I will go get a late lunch / early dinner. Everything is going so well, my friend. Thank you so much for that. I hope all is well with you as well. I hope you're recovering nicely after the accident, and that things are going well for you as well. I took today off because it is going to be an extended Memorial Day weekend. My family always visits the cemeteries every Memorial Day weekend, so that is what we are going to do on Sunday, not on Memorial Day Monday here in the States, because on Monday, the cemeteries are just absolutely packed. So we go the day before. Plus, it sounds like it might be raining on Monday, so we took that into account as well. I know. Well, I did Arby's the other day. I just did a Chinese buffet last night. And then I also I tried Taco Bell's new, I shouldn't say new, but Taco Bell's reissued Mexican pizza last night. It's the first time I've ever had it. And through the Taco Bell app, if you are on the app, and I assume if you have racked up a lot of points to reach the level of fire, they were giving a free Mexican pizza away. So I was able to try a Mexican pizza last night for free. And I gotta say, I was really impressed. I really was. It was much better than I thought it was going to be. I don't really know what I thought it was going to be. I thought maybe it might be kind of soggy, but no, the shell was actually still crispy by the time I got home, believe it or not. And that was a surprise for me, for sure. Okay, so don't let me forget, there are 3 little rocks on these sprues. So we can't get rid of the sprue until we get those 3 little rocks unclipped. Whoop. And that was a big rock pile. And if I don't pick it up now, I'm never going to pick it up. Whoops, sorry. I keep knocking the camera. Good to hear, Hal. Good to hear. Okay, here we go. Here's one little rock. And here are 2 more. And I'm always anxious to see, is what you get with this stuff enough to actually make what's on the package, or is it actually more than what's on the package, or is it less than what's on the package? Brain, I gotta say, I'm not even the biggest fan of using clippers. I'm not even the biggest fan of clipping out pieces in general. So for me to actually even do this, I have to say that's an accomplishment, let alone using my perfectly orthodontized teeth. You know how much my parents spent on braces? Which unfortunately, some of my lower teeth kind of reverted back. I didn't wear my retainer like I should. And Cal, how are you? Yes. I think I've actually seen some Facebook ads for this too. So this is out there, folks. This is not something you have to, kickstart. This is not something you have to kickstart and wait a year to receive. This is available now. And like Cal said, you can check out some of those retail websites. Like Miniature Market is fantastic. And get a nice discount on the purchase price. This set that we are unclipping now that has 75 pieces retails for $69. $69? Nice. And then we also have a Dwarven Mines set we have to unclip as well. That has almost the exact same amount of pieces, but it's actually less expensive. It's only $59. Ugh. Clipping out of the sprue is not the most tedious part. It's actually kind of nice, especially if you're just like listening to a video or something. But what gets me is the cleaning up the pieces afterwards, especially on these dungeon terrain type of kits where perfect fit is everything. And you really have to go through each piece by piece and make sure that you get as much of the extra sprue clippings off the edge of the pieces as you possibly can. Taco time! Nice. I toyed with the idea of actually having a painted commission service do all this for me and actually paint up the sets so that when I reviewed it, all I would have to do is play with it and show off the final product. But I decided against it because that would take way too long. We got to get these reviews up in a timely manner, but also it would be expensive. Very, very expensive. And I was thinking about seeing if I could have someone locally do it so I wouldn't have to wait for shipping or anything. But, then you never know about who it is. Of course, if you go to the local game shops, they'll probably recommend someone who is pretty reputable because, where are they going to go run and hide when they live in the same town as you? But again, price is an issue, time is an issue. If you just go down to the local hobby shop and try to find someone to do it for you, Chances are that's not what they do full time. Unless you live in the same town as Sean Gately with Blue Table Painting, then that is what he does full time. Imagine living right down the street from Blue Table Painting, and you could just constantly be having commissioned paintwork done, and you could just go pick it up and not have to wait for all the shipping times, and you could stop in and check on the progress at any time. Okay, I think we're almost done with sprue number 3 of this set. This is going to be exciting once we get it all unclipped and get to play with it. That's the most fun part. But before you play, you've got to put in the work. So here we go. This is sprue number 4. I wish there was an even better set of clippers that really, maybe I'll try one of these other ones, because I have 4 sets of clippers here. Because here you go. See, well, actually this one did a pretty good job. There's just a little bit of raised edges like here where the clipper clipped. But on some of these pieces, it's a little bit more, raised. Like, look at this. You're obviously going to want this column to be flat on the ground. And so we're going to have to clean up these little bits, these little sprue bits. So let's try a different set of clippers. That was the Army Painter clippers. Now let's try these. What the heck brand are these? I think this was from a set I got at Hobby Lobby, but they don't look like they can really get in there. See, these aren't going to work because they're too thick. They won't get into the tiny little gap here. That's a damn shame. So those are instantly out. And then what else do we have? Well, we have the Citadel, the old school Citadel clippers. Let's see if those can get in there. And they can. Now the question is, how much residue did they leave? I don't think residue is the right word. I don't think residue is the right word. And actually, these are not getting in as well as I would have hoped. It's back to the Army Painter. Out of my 3 clippers, these Army Painter are the superior clippers. They get into these tiny little gaps and just clip away effortlessly. Now, they do leave a bit of sprue left that we're going to have to clean up later, but at least we can get through clipping out a piece by piece, without a terrible amount of effort. Thank the good Lord. So again, this particular set is Pathfinder officially licensed terrain from Archon Studio in their Dungeons and Lasers style, but done with these half-height walls, 25 millimeter tall walls. And this particular, I think the adventure that these are supposed to be paired with is called Abomination Vaults. Or maybe that's just one encounter in the adventure. But either way, you can obviously, these are not limited to just that. You can use this terrain with anything. It is miniature game agnostic, though it does have a grid embedded into the floors. Renee, great question. I did not buy any sets. These were sent to me for review by Archon Studio. It was just one of each. One of these Abomination Vault sets and one of these Dwarven Mines sets that we will take a look at later. Yes, me too, because, to be honest, I am more of a pre-painted, pre-assembled type of person. So Warlock tiles, Dwarven Forge, that kind of thing is more up my alley. But when a company asks if I will take a peek at their product, I'll admit I have turned down some because I just am not a miniature crafter and assembler and gluer. But Archon Studio has been asking me, has asked me to do these kind of reviews. If you see on my channel, I have a bunch of these Dungeons and Laser reviews. So they've been supporting my channel for this long that I am only too happy to actually go out of my comfort zone and actually put these clippers to use and unclip this. Besides the fact that this Dungeons and Lasers system of terrain is glue free. It's all friction fit. So I mean, you can't get better than that. Now, of course, it's unpainted, but if you really wanted to and you didn't want to paint it yourself, you could absolutely commission someone to paint it for you. Heck, you could just send them this whole box and tell them to unclip it and assemble it and paint it for you. But it's modular, no glue required. I just have to clip it out and I can start playing with it, and that is ideal. And again, these sets are not on Kickstarter. You can go to the website right now and buy them. And as Cal just said, you can go to Miniature Market, and evidently they're having a good deal on them. Dungeons and Lasers 3, nice. That's fantastic. Their Dungeons and Lasers system, I love it. When I did my first Dungeons and Lasers review for them, I was blown away by the system. I love the clips that they use, where you can subdivide the floors with the walls, and I love that you get the full grid squares because of the way they do their walls. Their walls on the outside have those clips specially made for them. Let's take a peek at that right now. So here's one of the clips. I'll unclip this big thing later, but look at this. So this is how it works. You have one of these, and of course this is not for you, Renee. You know all about this, but for other people, here's the underside of a floor. Here's one of the exterior wall clips. It just clips right underneath there, and then now you have a hole there where you can put one of the walls, and then there you have it. It's as easy as that. How amazing, right? So that's pretty darn sweet. And of course, to connect floors, you have a double wide one. So a double wide one will connect 2 floors together, and then you'll still have that hole in the middle so you can, subdivide it with walls. So it's all very good. Okay, back to clipping. We're on sprue 5 of 6. And then we have the actual clips to connect everything together, sprues. Nice, Cal. I bet they did. I know painting these would not be that difficult. And painting terrain in general is not that difficult when you just put down, what would you do? You just prime it and then kind of maybe dry brush it to give the stone some texture, and then maybe go in and pick out some details. So yeah, not too bad at all. Of course, for me, that's out of the question. I just simply cannot. It is enough that I am actually clipping these out, because you know me, I'm spoiled rotten, and I am constantly after the pre-painted, pre-finished stuff. But I will clip these out because I'm always excited to see what this looks like, and I love playing with it. If I had someone who, and of course I could send off my Dungeons and Laser stuff to be painted, which is not the worst idea in the world, but I keep spending my money on other things. Just keep an eye out, because within the next week or so, something really cool is coming. It's absolutely gigantic. Well, it's not for what it is. Among related things of what it is, it actually is small. It's a mini version, but relative to everything else in this room, it's actually pretty big. It's going to be a big addition to the game room, and I'm very excited. Now, I had hoped, and of course FedEx Freight said, and that's right, I said freight, it's going to be coming on a semi. FedEx Freight said it was going to be delivered by the end of the day today. So I don't know though, because when I keep checking on it, it looks like it may not make it today. Now, unfortunately, if it doesn't make it today, that means it's going to be not until probably Tuesday, due to, of course, Memorial Day here in the States. So I'm going to have to wait a little bit longer to get it. No, Renee, it is not a new game table. It might weigh as much as one, but it is not a new game table. It is something more mechanical. Something that with moving parts, more moving parts than this table does. Of course, this table does have some moving parts because it has drawers on every player side. But if I could reorder this table, I would have probably gotten it with cup holders. Of course, tables these days are absolutely insane with Dungeon Master screens built in and phone charging ports built in and even dice towers built in. I can't remember how much I spent on this table. I could look it up. I have the electronic receipts. Someone was asking me in a video the other day. And of course, I moved into this house in June of 2015. And I had the table delivered shortly after that. So I've had this table for almost 7 years. And of course, the landscape of purchasing a board game table has changed so drastically since 7 years ago. I am not going to Gen Con, Renee. That is the absolute mecca. I would absolutely love to one day go to Gen Con. That would be absolute. Are you? The question is, Renee, are you going to Gen Con? I would love to. I just am unable to do it this year, but one day I would love to. I would love to go to any gaming convention. I've only been to, believe it or not, I've only been to one gaming convention in my entire life, and that was NukeCon here in Omaha, Nebraska. And when was that? I still have my badge hanging up on the wall over there. It was like 2012, maybe. So it was like 10 years ago. How crazy is that? I haven't been to a gaming convention in 10 years. In a decade. That's right, Cal. But look at this. We're almost done clipping. White primer. Ooh, nice. Yeah, especially on the wood. For some of those lighter tones, I can see that for sure. Absolutely. I love these doors. I love that these doors actually function. We tested that out earlier. The doors open and close in this set, which is absolutely awesome. Okay, couple more pieces, and then this set is done. And then we move on to the Dwarven Mines set. And I don't think it's a blast. You've been 5 times. Nice. I 100% agree with you. Absolutely. Not until you're comfortable and not until things improve. I totally agree. I mean, I feel, bad enough just going to a buffet, especially when I know everyone's touched the tongs. And it's not even a COVID thing necessarily for me. It's just a germ thing in general. I just know that some snotty-nosed child has already picked up those tongs for the Szechuan chicken, and now I'm picking up the same freaking tongs. But what can you do? Just not have Szechuan chicken at a Chinese buffet? I mean, that's out of the question. Okay, here we go. We're almost done. Just a couple more of these little rocks. I'm pretty sure these little tiny rocks. I'm pretty sure I haven't forgotten any of those, but one almost went flying. But we have to make sure that okay, so here's one of the sprues. Chris. There you go. Exactly. We also have a Golden Corral here that I love. I love Golden Corral's mac and cheese. If anyone else knows what a Golden Corral is. I'm just double checking these sprues, making sure we've got all of the little tiny rock pieces clipped off. There were 3 on each sprue, and I think we've done it. And look how efficient Archon Studios, there's very little left on the sprue, so they're very efficient with that. All right, here's the boring part, is clipping out all of these Or actually, do we even clip them? Yeah, I guess we can. But these outside ones, actually, you can just kind of peel off. Can I peel off the others too? The other ones are going to be a little more tedious. We're going to have to clip those, I think. Fancy table stuff much. Cal, well, round tables with leaves are still nice. At least you have leaves. Leaves are kind of fancy. Popeyes, yes. Oh my gosh, you just made me hungry. I haven't eaten lunch yet. It's already almost 2 p.m. here. That's that's where I'm gonna go now. Since you just mentioned Popeyes, that's what I'm gonna do. I absolutely love Popeyes. Popeyes, what I get, because I know you were all dying to know, I always get the spicy tenders platter with Cajun fries and mashed potatoes because their gravy is unearthly. And I do Mardi Gras mustard. I do oh my gosh, I'm like drooling right now. That's how hungry I am. I'm like drooling just thinking about it. I do the Mardi Gras mustard with the spicy tenders, and oh my gosh, that stuff is good, but that'll clear out your sinuses fast. Renee, you and me both. Oh my gosh. I don't know what I was thinking doing this before I had something to eat, but I just wanted to get it done. I just wanted to get these clipped out and then off to Popeyes it'll be. I don't know. Right, Chris? And if you've seen because I have done a food vlog for Popeyes before. I did it for their chicken sandwich, which honestly, their chicken sandwich is so good. Sometimes I will throw in a chicken sandwich into my order if I'm feeling extra hungry. Oh, you have another half hour. Renee, you and me both. Honestly, I took today off, of course. But yeah, because I assume you work from home then also. That's what I'm doing, and it is the absolute life because, yeah, if I have a package that's going to be delivered, I'm home. And I'm constantly having package delivered that I need to sign for, and I'm home. It's just so nice. And I can go throw something in the wash. What else have I done? I've mowed the lawn on my lunch break. I mean, it's just fantastic. Hybrid, yes. See, that I work at PayPal, and that is where they're moving as well. However, for my specific department earlier this year, they actually shook things up. They said, well, if we are going to be virtual so much of the time, let's shake things up a little bit. So then for a while, my manager was in Colorado, the rest of my team was in Arizona, and of course, I'm in Nebraska. And because we all use Microsoft Teams at PayPal, that's just how we communicated through our webcams on Teams. And so with my team, the rest of my team, I'm the only one in Nebraska on my team. So with me being the only one there, obviously I have no one to go see in person in the office since my team is elsewhere. Even though they say it's going to be kind of a hybrid thing, for me, I really don't ever have to go back just because there's no reason to. All my team is elsewhere. Chris, last day of vacation in Orlando. Awesome. Right? Exactly. Oh, I hope your vacation was amazing. How was the weather when you guys were there? I think I've seen some of your pictures on Facebook, and it looked sunny and bright. Oh, that sounds like a fantastic time. Yes, they are fantastic to work for, Renee. The benefits are amazing. They go above and beyond. You hear some horror stories of, maybe some financial tech companies or just, corporations in general who, they're more about the bottom line than they are about people. But at least with PayPal, my gosh, they honestly bend over backwards, at least in my experience. I have been treated nothing but the absolute best. And it's not just the normal benefits of dental, vision, medical, all that kind of insurance is absolutely excellent through PayPal, but also just the they give us what they call wellness days. So in addition to paid company holidays, they give us wellness days like every month, which is just extra time off. And that's in addition to our normal vacation time. So we get company holidays, we get our own vacation time, and then they also give us these wellness days. So yeah, I have zero complaints when it comes to the benefits at PayPal, and the pay is fantastic. My leadership team is fantastic. The only, downside, I guess, is, having, before we had to work from home, the office was a little ways away from me. It was like almost a half-hour drive just to get to the office. So that's an hour round trip. You think of the gas prices. That's another reason why I'm so glad to be working from home right now, because I save time on the commute, I save money on the gas, so the working from home thing has been absolutely fantastic. It's hot, Chris. Yeah, I bet. Most of the week at the beach. Oh, I am so envious. Orlando is too busy, but it's easier to fly in and out of there. Yep, there you go. No, you can't, Renee. You absolutely can't. I mean, I could try to find something to complain about, but honestly, I can't. Because that is fantastic. All right, we're down to just the last little nubs here. That went fast. The clipping goes fast the more you talk. Of course, I'm putting all these little bits into this little dish so I don't lose them. And then we are done with set 1, but we have one more set to do. We have the Dwarven Mine. And then I've started to say this, I think, twice, but I keep getting distracted. I'm not sure if I'm going to show cleaning the pieces on this live stream. I don't know. Because I think the only thing more boring than the clipping is the cleaning off the pieces. And that's it. Look at this. This was one set, one full set. Ooh. You just read my mind, Renee. The Container Store. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you saw, but I just did a big Dwarven Forge haul a couple weeks ago or whatever it was. And now, yes, I need more Container Store containers for all those. Right now, they're in big cardboard boxes. But here you go. Here is what one full set of the Abomination vaults looks like. And I have the stats. So it retails for $69. It's a 30 millimeter grid, 25 millimeter half height walls. You get 12 floors, 30 walls, 6 doors and doorways, and 21 little accessory pieces. So that's fantastic. Here are the columns. Look at these columns. You get a front and a back. Let me see if I can put these together without completely destroying them. I need to clean these pieces off as well. But everything is friction fit. Oh my gosh, those are tight. Look at that. Oh, very cool. But you can see the little bits I need to clean off on the top and the sides there. Yep. Love it. Used PayPal since the very beginning, back when everyone signed up for eBay, got $10 free. Oh, nice. Long time ago. Yep. You are an OG then, Chris. I joined PayPal as an employee back in 2014, October of 2014. So this October, I'll be there 8 years. And but I've been a PayPal member using them for payment since probably when I got out of high school in 2006. Okay, so here's all these pieces. I'm going to put these to the side because look at these boxes. These boxes have a bottom and a lid. I don't know. You longtime Dungeons and Lasers fans can tell me if that's something they just recently started doing, because when I've reviewed these in the past, the boxes had a flap on the side and the little bits would sometimes fall out of there. So I'm so glad to see that they have done the box with the lid so I can put all this stuff in here and without the fear of something falling out. But I'm just putting these in here for now because next we are going to unclip the Dwarven Mines set. Cal, yes. Me too. Anytime PayPal is an option, I absolutely go with them. It actually does, and of course this could just be biased because I work for PayPal, but it actually does worry me a little bit if somebody does not use PayPal. Like they don't accept PayPal. I'm like, wait a second. Why are you not accepting PayPal? It does worry me a little bit because of the buyer protection you get. All right, so that was the Abomination Vaults. It's overcast. Nice. First, looking over the bay, that sounds pretty nice. Even if it is overcast, it still sounds pretty nice. All right, so now we have this. Now we are on to box number 2, which is the Dwarven Mine. And here we go. This is pretty sweet. So here's the most boring clip sprue of all, just all the clips. And then here is all of this. So I'm just priming them on the sprue. I think I've seen that. I definitely have seen that. Cal, why am I like getting the impression that you are trying to convince me to paint these myself? And I'll be honest, I gave it some thought. For a split second, I gave it a moment of thought. Because I do have spray primer. I do have a lot of paint. And I have a long open weekend. But I don't think so. I don't think so. Because I'm just worried that I'm going to make him look absolutely terrible. 100%. Even as simple as it would be to prime them and dry brush them, I still feel like I'm going to do them a disservice. What I need to do is get some to just practice on and see if my fears are founded or unfounded. Okay, we've got our first couple of pieces unclipped here. So what do we have with this Dwarven Mines set? Well, here's a long wall. I love the look of these walls because they're like framed in wood, and then they have the stone in the middle and sometimes some wood accents. And of course, they have these ones with the holes on there so you can plug the torches in. Again, these are the half-height walls. Yes, Cal, well, I'm glad you appreciate it because I appreciated going there because I'm just so happy that we have a container store that I can go to. But the problem for me is I don't know if I've ever left the container store without having bought something. I'm constantly being financially irresponsible at the container store. But it's not without merit, right? Because what I'm buying there is actually things that I, technically do need. They are things that I use. It's not like I go there and buy a bunch of stuff that I just stuff in a corner and never look at again. It actually is all useful stuff. I love these floors. See, these are the floors that I don't think I could do justice to because these floors are, look at all the water ripples. So what would you do? You'd prime it, you'd paint it, maybe do what, a base coat of gray for the stone and blue for the water, and then like dry brush to make the stone look rough, and then pick out some highlights of these water ripples, and of course touch on all the little stones on the interior. See, it sounds not too bad, but actually in practice, I feel like I just could not do it. I just feel like I would not do it justice. But if any of you have painted terrain before, I would love to see it. Add me on Facebook, because that's one of my favorite things about social media is that I get to see so many cool things from the hobby that other people are doing, and it makes me inspired is the word. It's actually very inspirational. Okay, so there's 6 sprues of this, just like there were 6 sprues of the last one, and these have their own working doors, if you can believe it. Okay, just like we did with the last one, once I get this unpackaged, I am going to, let me just clip that off also. I'm going to play around with this door because I love the fact that these are functional doors. Okay. And I just think this is going to make such a great addition to your terrain collection, especially if you're a Dungeons and Lasers fan. Mixing the half-height walls and the full-height walls is something I hope someone does and shows it for me. I'm saying for the benefit of any that want to try fast methods. Yep, nice. Yeah, those are good tips. All right, I think this sprue is done. I don't see any little bits left on here. There are no little rocks like there were on the other one. So here it is. Let me clean up the door a little bit. And we are going to give this door a test drive. Look at all these little bits. It's the cleanup part that is the most tedious part of clipping something off the sprue. Especially with how well these Archon Studios pieces are made. The fit is very precise. Okay. Now let's give this a try. Is this door? Oh, wrong way. Here we go. Let me just fix that a little bit. One of these hinges had some stuff on it. Let's see if we can get this in here. Nice. So yeah, the hinges of the door clip right in, and then look at that. Oh my gosh. And the door's in there, and I could still clean that up even a little bit more. But then they open, the doors actually open. And again, no glue required. Can you believe that? That's one of the things that I absolutely love about this terrain. All right, here we go. Sprue number 2 of 6. Are all these walls and floors and doors? It's just the sprues are all the same. They're all identical. Which makes it kind of nice because then you know what you're looking for. Like on the Abomination Vault sprues where there were a whole bunch of little rocks. You always knew there were 3 little rocks per sprue. So you always knew to look for those little rocks. On this, I don't see any little tiny pieces like that on here, so that's good. Okay, there's a 2x2. And the other interesting thing is, and I don't know offhand how many millimeters and inches, is because these floors have a 30 millimeter grid. Is 30 millimeters more or less than an inch? That's what I'm going to find out before too long, when I actually get some figures out and put all this together and then see what we've got going on in terms of how this all looks when it's actually fully assembled, which is going to be amazing. Wow, so it is over an inch. So these squares, thank you, Renee, are actually a little bit bigger than an inch, which honestly, I feel like that might be nice. I get why originally they went with inches, just because, you know, it seems to be the standard, but for Archon Studio to go with just slightly over an inch gives you a little bit of wiggle room in a space where a miniature base may commonly be an inch across. And then, you know, some miniatures have arms and weapons sticking out that are going to interfere with other miniatures right next to it. So it makes sense to me that they would make those squares just slightly bigger. I don't know if that's the reason they did that or not, but it would make sense to me that they did, just so that they have a little bit of wiggle room there. Okay, oh, that torch went flying. We're almost done with this sprue, and then we're moving on to sprue number 3. But I love these lanterns. I love these lantern stands. Standalone lantern stands. Absolutely fantastic. because you could use these in an outdoor setting as well. Look how cool those look. Okay, I think that's it. I don't see any little bits or bobs on that one. Moving on to sprue number 3 of 6. Also, of course, not counting the sprue with all the clips on it. But yeah, I think I will just leave this video at clipping out the pieces off the sprues, and then I'll clean up all the pieces off camera, and then don't forget to check back later when I upload the actual review video. I already took a couple clips of the sprues and the packaging and some overall information, and then now I'm just unclipping everything, cleaning everything up, and I'm going to record the last couple segments of the video, which are going to be all the individual pieces laid out, as well as at the very end what everyone of course wants to see, and that's the whole thing set up, which is also my favorite part. Okay. And it looks like, you know, the back of the box shows a sample setup, and I wasn't sure. I almost thought maybe that setup was not using all of the pieces, but maybe it is. But I'll find out for sure once I get this all unclipped, cleaned up, and set up, if that is one full setup. Because that's a fantastic way to show, well, you know, I like what I'm seeing here. Here's the example on the back of the box. I mean, just look at that. And look how they painted the pool. Oh, and I guess some of these long floors, they didn't paint as water. It's just like kind of mud or dirt. So that's actually pretty nice as well. Of course, you could do the water. I absolutely love the water. But, and I love how they did the OSL on the lanterns and the torches. It looks absolutely fantastic. But if this builds one set, what you see here builds one set's worth of pieces, then that tells you, well, if I want a dungeon this size, I'm going to have to pick up X number of sets. And again, this set retails for only $59. Like, that seems shocking to me. And I think Cal earlier said, check out Miniature Market, and they may be even less on Miniature Market. But I already think $59 is a steal. Of course, I'm used to pre-painted prices, so I'm used to like $100 a set. Floor piece with puddles is the same as a previous set, so I painted those up in various styles. Nice! Yes, see, that's a good thing, is to get a few of those and paint them in different styles so that you do have the variety. Clip, clip, clip. And we're almost done with sprue number 3. We're almost halfway done with this box. How long have we been going on here? Not quite an hour, but almost an hour, so that's not too bad. I was afraid this was going to take me like 3 hours. Of course, that's just me being inexperienced. I don't know what standard clipping time would be. But after I'm done with these other sprues, it'll probably be close to an hour and a half, I suppose, which still isn't too bad. All right, is this one done? Oh, there we go. Door, torch, and this piece, my favorite piece, the lantern post. Okay, and I think that is one more sprue completed, clipped out, done. All right, next up, here we go. Yeah, I could see how the big floor, you could paint that in multiple styles. It does have those ripples for water, but I suppose some of you have some painting techniques that would make the ripples less obvious if you just wanted it to be a dirt floor or something. But on each of these, so what do you get? What did I say you get on this? You get 12 floors, which, yes, that makes sense because you get 6 2x2s and 6 4x2s. So that makes it also nice when you are trying to determine what kind of a layout or setup you want to do. And that way you can kind of figure out how many pieces, how many sets you need for what you want to do or what you want to recreate. And I like that they are doing that whole 5e compatible thing without actually specifying, you know, Dungeons and Dragons by name. But it just lets you know. And of course, obviously, even the terrain that's branded as Pathfinder is still agnostic. You could use that for anything. But I'll be interested to hear if people are liking the half-height walls better or if they prefer the full-height walls. For me, with the Warlock tiles, I went all in on half-height walls. But of course, with Dwarven Forge, I have unbelievable amounts of full-height walls. And full-height walls have the advantage of being able to stack because the half-height walls a lot of times have things that stick out above them, like these doors. So if you have a room with these walls, sure, you could stack on top of the walls, but then you have the doorways that stick above. Oh, or greenish cal, like an acid pool or something. And then even like walls like this that kind of have a raised edge over the top. Oh, I got to clean that up. That piece there looks terrible. There we go. That's another thing is, you know, that's another reason that I'm not, that clipping things out and cleaning them up is not my favorite, because I'm very, I don't want to say OCD lightly, because people who are actually OCD, that is a terrible mental illness. But whatever the non-offensive way to say that I'm just very obsessive about wanting all these little things to be cleaned up to their max potential, means it's probably going to take me another hour and a half just to get all those little trimmings off of there. $11 less? Nice. So you're saying that maybe the Dwarven Mine might be 48 instead of... So for under $50, you can get this set? Folks, do not hesitate. Get over to Miniature Market ASAP. Grab a couple of these sets, because what's the Miniature Market free shipping threshold at? 99? So you could pick up 2 of these sets. I guess you'd have to pick up something else, because 48 and 48 would be 96. But you could pick up 2 Dwarven Mine sets and something else for just over $100 and get free shipping. I assume in the United States. I don't know if Canada's included in that. But yeah, I mean, that seems like a no-brainer. Done. There you go. There you have it. That's sprue number 4 done. Here we go, number 5. And I know I said it might be an hour and a half, but maybe we might get done a little earlier than that. Big floor piece done. Smaller 2x2 floor almost done. And then, of course, laying it out and making the dungeon is the most fun part. So definitely stay tuned to the later video when I do the full review and show my interpretation, because I don't think that I'm going to set it up like they have on the back of the box, because we've already seen that. So I want to set it up a different way, but still try to use all the pieces as much as I can anyway. I don't know if I'll use all the doors, because how many doors you get? 6 doors? I don't know if I'm going to make that many rooms, but we'll see. We'll see what we've got once we get there. Okay. More walls done. And then, of course, after I do this, I'm going to get something to eat. What time is it now anyways? It's almost 2:30 p.m. here. I haven't eaten lunch yet. And I am starving. Okay, here we go. We are breezing through this. Once you get your clipping down, it is kind of a breeze, though I am getting clippers. Is clippers fingers an actual thing? Like right here. Oh my gosh, I am. I'm getting a blister right there from holding these clippers like that. I need to switch up the way I'm holding these, evidently. Well, I mean, we've clipped how many sprues? By the time we're done with this, we will have clipped, what is that? 7 sprues per box. So we've clipped 14 sprues. Of course, if I clipped more often, I probably would have developed a callus or something by now. These are definitely not the hands of a routine miniature wargaming clipper, miniature RPG clipper. Okay, and just a couple little things left on this one, and we will be done with sprue number 5. Can you believe it? I feel like we just said we were done with sprue number 4, and now we're already almost done with sprue number 5. Because we're getting our clipping rhythm down. Look at that. I think it's done. Not a single thing left on that sprue. Here we go. The final of the fun sprues. Sprue 6 of 6, and then we just have one more sprue left for all the little floor and wall clippings. Boom, there's a big wall. Done. I need to do another one of those videos where it is unpunching board games live. Because I have some more board games that absolutely need to be punched. And by punched, I don't mean physically assaulted. I just mean the tokens removed from their cardboard sprues. I know, I kind of am right now, I'm absolutely a sprue clipping machine. Speaking of machines, that's another hint as to what is going to be coming into the game room. Ideally later today, but it doesn't look like it, so probably Tuesday because of the Memorial Day holiday. Which I cannot wait for that, but I can't do any spoilers yet. I've already given away too many hints as to what is on its way. We'll all just have to see together. Couple more walls here. And this plastic is pretty, or whatever it is. I assume it's plastic, but it is rugged. Good grief. Even just the sprue things to clip, you actually do need to apply some force. And we are about done with this door. Arcade machine, Chris. You are pretty close. You're not far off. You could absolutely, potentially find these in arcades, but not specifically video game arcades. But you may actually find these in video game arcades, but it isn't a video game. But if you know the other stuff that's in my room, it may not come as too much of a surprise. But it's something that I've absolutely loved for a long, long time. And then I finally found one. I was looking for something completely different. And then I found this thing that I was like, oh my gosh, look at that. Another sprue done. All right, we're down to the last. Just these little clips, and we are done. Sorry, I keep knocking the thing, the tripod. Okay, here we go. Now this is the sprue that takes forever, because look how many little clips there are on this. There are so many clips. I don't know. I almost want to just clip half of them and peel the other half off. Is that faster? I don't know. I honestly don't think so. Boom, boom, boom. Come on. Then on the other side. And we've got it nailed. Can you believe it? Well, it took what? Over an hour. Well, it took about an hour because I did spend some minutes at the beginning getting everything situated. So about an hour then to clip these 2 boxes of pieces. But of course, once the clipping's done, the fun can begin. The best part of all is the actual building of them. But the work is not done. But what I'm not going to do on the live stream is clean it up, because I think that would be even more boring than the clipping. But I do have to go back in here and clean up a lot of these pieces. But I also have to take a video of all the pieces unclipped but not yet assembled, because I want to give a good overview of what all the pieces look like unclipped, even before we put it all together in an actual layout. There we go. There's another row done. My gosh, why does this one feel like it's taking even longer than the other one? They're the exact same sprue, but this one feels like it's taking 10 times as long. I think probably because I was talking more during the other one. And that's another reason why I wanted to go live, to be mentally distracted. Of course, I could have heard, I could have been listening to music or listening to another video, but I think me talking while I'm doing this actually makes it seem like it's going faster than me listening to something else and doing this. So hopefully with all this clipping out of the way and then cleaning up the clipped pieces and doing the last part of the layout, the actual fun part of the build, I should have the actual review video up hopefully this evening. Because what time is it again? It's 2:30 p.m. Central Time right now. So I think it's reasonable that I can get this up on the channel by maybe 8 p.m. Because obviously if it was going to be too late, then maybe I would push it over into tomorrow. But I don't think it's going to be too bad. I would say my cutoff would be like 9, especially on a Friday. If it was a work day, I might say, oh, 9 is too late to upload a video on a work night. But sometimes I just upload it anyway just to get it on there. I know there are strategies to timing uploads at certain days and certain times of day. But just as a hobby, it doesn't necessarily matter to me all that much. Obviously, I would like the most people possible to watch it, but I don't necessarily pay too close attention as to the time of day and things like that. Though, 10 p.m. on a Wednesday might be too late, but not on a Friday. Well, on a Friday, I would say my cutoff might be 9. All right, now we just have a bunch of these little guys to go, and we are done. See, the second half of this sprue went way faster than the first half just because of all the talking. That is the trick to getting things done and making it feel like it didn't take that long at all. Boom, boom, boom. 5 more, just 5 more left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Done. We have now clipped out all of the pieces of both of these boxes. So here it is, folks. Here's the overview. These are all the pieces, all 75 pieces that you get in the Dwarven Mine set from Dungeons and Lasers Archon Studio. Okay, so next up for me is I'm going to go through here and clean this up because you see all these little pieces here where the sprue clippings are still there. I just want to kind of file those down. I do have my files over here too, so for the parts that I can't quite clip down, I can still file those down. And then it's the fun part. It's actually putting the layouts together, so that will come later. All right, folks, that'll do it for Sprue Clipping Live, or Unclipping Sprues Live, I guess I should say. A crane machine? Ooh, yes, that may be it. I don't want to say for sure, but definitely stay tuned. That could very well be it. All right, folks, that'll do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I do truly appreciate it, and stay tuned for the full review videos of both of these sets.